Edge technology screens. I can't believe that the screen by the time I get my orders and all taken care of for this week, I'll be able to paint this screen on Saturday. This screen is the screen I'm going to be painting on. It's going to be darker than this. The screen is going to go super jet black. I figured out how I'm going to be removing the 135 off my wall. So I came in here last night to figure out how I want to do it. I'm literally going to have to move my chair all the way back. All this stuff is going to be moved back against the wall. I got to plastic wrap the floor so none of the lights get hit. And then I have to detach and realign the lights all over again to the back of the screen. So I already ordered all the stuff already so I can get that knocked off on Saturday because that's definitely getting done. I love gaming on that black screen. Anyway, so in this video, I'm showing you how to use, you don't have to spend a lot of money for a projector, especially with that black technology. I have people call me talking about 4Ks and lasers on it. So like, you're going too far with this, you're spending too much money. Projector I got set up downstairs is the exact same projector I'm showing you right here. It is a very cheap, very affordable projector. Some people feel that, oh, you have to have, if you have 800 by 600 res, then it's not, it's going to give you a poor picture. That's a lie. As I said before, there's nothing wrong with these projectors. It's always the screen. And so this is a projector I bought. I got mine for 150 bucks. I'm going to show you the demonstration downstairs using the Nova Black on it. But this is what you're going to pay for this projector. So you don't really have to go out and spend all this money because the screen's super jet black. You can just go out and get yourself a 600 by 800 res projector SVGA at 720p. And then some person was making a complaint about, but what about the screen door effect? You literally would have to be sitting right up on top of your screen in order to see the screen door effect. From where you're going to be sitting at for the size of that screen, you're not going to see it. You'll see it on a white screen. This is a jet black screen. You know what I mean? So you really are going to, it's like seeing the pixelations in your TV. You would have to really be sitting up on top of it. Nobody in their right mind is going to sit that close to a screen. All right. So let me see. Move this over here real quick and get my, come out of the way. So these are the projectors they have on eBay. You can get it on Amazon. If you want to get it brand new, you can buy it off Amazon for around $300 on Amazon. I got mine for 100. Let me see if they got it here on Amazon. Not something else I was looking up. Hold on for a minute, because I never know what I'm here searching for, and I don't want you guys saying, "What is that? What are you working on next? What's that about?" You don't need to know my projects I'm working on right now. What the heck is all this crap? I know I didn't hit for this crap. Okay, here we go. So this is the projector I got right here. When I paid for mine, I got mine used. I got mine for 150 bucks. I bought one of these way back in the day and gave it away to a church. They needed a projector really bad. Now they make it in SVGA. They make this model in WXGA, and they make it in XGA. You know what I mean? But they're going to charge you a little more. If you decide that you want to go XGA, the price is going to jump. Let's see what the price would jump. How much more? If we go XGA, you're going to be paying. Yeah, see, they're charging. So you went from $300, $299 to now, because you chose XGA, same projector, nothing, they just changed it. You're going to pay $353.33 if you change it to XGA. There's no real difference with our technology. You really don't have to go through all that nonsense. Okay, and if you want and this doesn't make any sense at all. If you want WXGA, oh yeah, they want more. They want $379. You don't need to spend all that. That's just way too much money. That's extra money you don't need to spend. $300 SVGA 800 by 600, 800 by 600. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need right there. That's the nonsense they feed to you, telling that you have to have this. You have to have that particular projector in order to get that quality from your screen. Blah, 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 blah. That's how I feel about it. But yet, I use SVGA projectors all the time, and then no way in the world are they using that much lighting that I'm using in my environment. As a matter of fact, I had an SVGA projector outside on the black Nova screen out there, playing around with it when I passed this test. All right, so this is a good projector, and I'll tell you why. because this projector has 3,800 lumens from the door. It has 3,800 lumens from the door. It has a 235.1 lens in it, which means if you decide later on that you want to change over to a 235.1 widescreen, you have that option. You have 16:9, which means if you want to use 16:9, and if you want to do 235.1, you have that option to do that. It's in the projector. You go out, like I said, see all these projectors I have over here? These are some high-end, expensive projector, venue projectors. Not one of these projectors over here have a 235.1 setting. None of them at all. None of them have a 235.1 setting. The only one that has one is this one. I have two projectors in the house that have a 235.1 setting. So it just tells you that if you're trying to find a 235.1 setting and a high-end projector, you're going to have to play a bit of a bingo game there. And I think JVC has it, but if you've ever seen the price of a JVC projector, they're not exactly cheap. They're very, very, very expensive machines. All right, so now if you decide you don't want, if you want it brand new, you can get it right from Amazon, brand new. They have it in stock. That shows you the projector is still in circulation. It's a fairly new projector. So you don't want to spend $300, then you just go pop over to good old eBay over here, which I like to use all the time. Someone has one right here, brand new in the box for $224. Right there, brand new in the box. I might just be picking that one up. If no one picks that up by Saturday, I will be buying that one. I need another projector. And I like that projector, these projectors. Someone has one over here for $200 with remote control right there. $25 for shipping. Can't beat that with a baseball bat. 317. I'm sorry, I'm not to put that person down, but it's up to you and what you want to spend it. They have nothing left, and those are gone. 317 ain't bad. That's actually a good price. Consider the fact that there are people out there that are spending anywhere from $1,500 to $1,700 to $4,000 and higher for a projector because they feel they need to spend all this money for these specifications. You got people out there, and I mean not to rank on anyone who owns this projector, who owns the P2. You have a 2 million to 1 contrast, and you can't see contrast. You can't see it. All that money for a projector, and you can't even see contrast. And if you're not pulling your black, like I said, if you're not pulling your black levels correctly, then that means there is another 100% chance your color isn't coming up the same way either. And this is the reason why you have to calibrate your projector, because your colors aren't coming out correctly. And that's a very expensive projector to not be able to, you have to calibrate. Find yourself calibrating that projector. Yeah, that's the reason why. These prices are going to start jumping. Look at this. These people are going to start jumping these prices already from the door. But like I said, it's a cheap projector. Cheap and affordable. Now, like I said, someone can have you can have a JVC. You can have one of the top end, best projectors you could possibly get. I guarantee you my 800 by 600 on my black screen downstairs will not only outperform your setup with no problem whatsoever, but I can be in a fully lit environment, display contrast demonstration, color patterns, and my technology with my projector can show that I can beat some of the top screens on the market with no problem. You won't be able to do that. So here we are right here. Same projector right there. There's my ViewSonic. I was blessed to get this for $150, brand new, brand new. The person who had it said it was used. It wasn't even used. It was more like an open box. I think they marketed it wrong because it was an open box. Like somebody opened it up and decided they didn't want it. Let me go back to my. As I said, in my environments, as when we show off our projectors, we're in fully lit environments. Majority of the demonstrations I see that are using high-end projectors, you can't even use your projector in this kind of lighting. Your screen would wash out. The contrast levels wouldn't pull. Fine. But yet, you can't sit in the environment that I sit in. You can't pull contrast levels, and you definitely can't pull color. The reason why, because there's nothing wrong with your projector, it's wrong with your screen, it's having the problem. So like I said, if you're looking for a good deal for a projector, I would go, I'm going to ask you, no one buys that projector in the box, I'm picking that up on Saturday. I could use me another one. As a matter of fact, I might replace the 505, the big boy, and put that projector there instead. Because I'm looking for a replacement for the 505. I want to remove it. I want all 720p's in my house. And the only one I have left in the house is a 505, and that's a 1080p projector. And I'm planning to have that removed for 720p. This would be a perfect projector for it. Or a perfect projector for that environment. And there's no calibrating, none of that nonsense. I'm not gonna go through any of that. And this is being played on our super jet black screens. So if you're looking to get a new projector, or maybe you want to get another projector, you're gonna spend a lot of money. Save a few dimes, buy something nice with it. It's overkill. The reason why they tell you have to buy these up-to-date, more expensive projectors is because the screens are lacking. They don't have the capability to produce proper images. They want more and more powerful projectors in order to make their screens look good. And then when the images don't come up correctly, because maybe you might not own that expensive projector that they have in their demonstration, then they're going to subject you to, maybe you have to basically use ambient light controlled environments because too much light may be hitting the screen, or you have to calibrate your projector because your colors are not coming out correctly. That's blah, blah, blah. I think it's a good projector. The fact that I think what shies people away from it is the 720p and it's 800 by 600 res. Show me where you're seeing a screen door effect on the screen. You don't see one. And despite the projector having a 22,000 to 1 contrast, doesn't make a difference because the screen can produce a 100% contrast level. 3 times darker than our 12. Let me shake some for a minute. This is how far we're back. I'm gonna try theirs right here. I like their demonstrations on this one. Go over to theirs. They have. This is on a jet black screen. I wish I knew where I can get a pallet of these projectors. I would sell them off as a projector package. I would. A lot of containers come today too. I forgot. Sorry about that. Containers come today. And also too, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Orders have been coming in quite a bit. Like I said, Friday is the last day. Sorry about that. Friday is the last day we're going to be taking orders in. So Friday around 12 o'clock. I had to order me more containers. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Look how bright the levels are. Especially for any black technology, to be able to pull a very high natural color, you have to have a tremendous amount of white levels to do it. If you don't have those white levels, what happens is everything comes out muddy and dirty. So at the end of this video, I will put a model number of the projector that I purchased. So if you decide if you want to basically, you're looking to get a good projector, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you don't have to spend a lot of money. I'll put a link at the bottom where you can go to Amazon or you can go to eBay and you can pick it up. If you have to spend $4,000 or $3,000 to get your image to look correct on you, that's sad. I mean, I'm not saying it's sad, but it's a lot of money to spend for a projector when you really don't have to spend it. I said at the end of the day, it comes down to the screen. And I've seen all kinds of setups all over Facebook where people have expensive projectors and they still can't do the environments that I'm doing right now. Because the first thing when I show them a picture of the screen and I show them how well lit the environment is, the first thing they ask me is, what kind of projector do you have? And I show them the projector. There it is right there. That's a 600 by 800 720p SVGA projector. Well, how's your image looking like that? It's a screen. The screen does all the work. There are people out there with 4K projectors that are sitting in the dark right now and calibrating their projectors at that. I had a neighbor who had a huge freaking toucan. That thing was freaking massive. It was huge. It's a big bird. It was a big, big bird. I had no idea they were that big. I never seen one in real life. Well, he was a neighbor of mine. Cage was the size of a refrigerator. It was huge. Big black toucan in there. I used to scare when I used to play roller hockey. I used to go past his house, and it sounded like a mixture of a power tool and a baby scream, like baby yelling at the same time. And I'm like, what kind of he have? And one day I, came by and got to talking with him, got to know him, became good friends with him, and I saw it, and it was big. I was actually downstairs while I was upstairs. I was picking my finger and I was sticking in the cage. Oh, don't do that! It snapped your finger off. Didn't realize that, you know what I mean? That they were that powerful. And he put a bigger one of cashews or walnuts, whatever. He just, and he says every time he has guests that come over to the house, it's like many years ago, guests that come over to the house, he has to cover up the cage and put a sign up there warning people don't stick fingers in there, which I did, which was, I can't say it was stupid because I did it myself. I almost lost a finger. Yeah, it was a cool bird. And birds will outlive you. I think they're like 80 years. About 80 years. You would have to have that bird when you were probably about 3. So if I were to go on vacation, there is nowhere in the world I wouldn't want. I can't be near the crowds. I just can't. Even if it wasn't even COVID, I couldn't be near the crowds. I got to be in the area by myself. That's what I like. Nobody around me, by myself, just looking at freaking the blue ocean and white sand. No anybody around me. Some people like to be where the crowd's at. I don't like being where the crowd is at. I like to be less people around, the happier I am. And don't get me wrong, there are days where basically I do like to be around large crowds of people. I mean, but other than that, most of the time if I'm on vacation, I just like to be secluded. I want to be left alone. It's the whole purpose of me going on vacation, just be left alone. And that's got to be beautiful. I have a good friend of mine. She travels quite a bit. I mean, she doesn't travel now since COVID, but she has traveled quite a bit. She's got it from her parents because her parents travel all the time. And half of the stuff I've seen, a lot of these videos, she has been there. Which, like I said, they get this thing under wraps and they figure a way how to fix this mess and get the thing some back to a somewhat normal. Oh yeah, Mr. Bird's taking off. I'm definitely taking off. Gonna get me a nice vintage suitcase and fill it full of stickers. I'd like to go there. I'll pause that for a minute. Let me look at this real quick. See that? 600 by 800. As I said before, nothing wrong with the projector. It's the screen. You see all the individual, I have no idea what that is on a fly. I guess it'd be its optic eyes. I don't know what you would call it. Where you can see everything crystal clear with no problem whatsoever. And on top of that, you got that nice jet black background that pushes the image out. I bet you if you went to one of them big screen corporations and you said to them, like Elite Screens, one of the big companies, and said, hey, look, I want to buy your screen setup, and I want to know if I can use this particular model projector I'm using right now. They'll laugh you off. They're definitely going to laugh at you. Like, no, you can't use that projector. What are you going to do with that projector? There's no power behind it. 600 by 800 res. You got to go with a 1080p projector, at least a high-end 1080p or 4K. So why you got to buy such an expensive projector for a screen? When I'm doing it right here on a projector that would cost my customers really nothing compared to what they want to have you spend on a projector. So what's the difference? What's the difference? You're already going to spend $5 for the screen already. Then you got to spend an additional, anything on top of $5 is going to jump you into a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 area. So why would you need such an expensive projector? Maybe it's because you need that to make the screen look good. That could be it right there. It could be there to make up for what the screen may not be able to show you. And then if you can't get the image to prop up, because your environment may be different from the environment they may be displaying in their videos. And if your images don't come up correctly, you can't pull proper color, then what? And you're taking this expensive projector you would have been advised to buy, and now you got to calibrate your projector because your colors aren't coming up correctly. And next you know, you're going to be over in a form site, because if you don't know how to calibrate it, that means you got to go to somebody who can calibrate it or figure out how to calibrate the projector, because it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy task to do. So you have to go to a form site, talk to a whole bunch of people in there. I got the screen, images are not coming up correctly, the color's not good. How to go about calibrating a projector. They're going to give you a bunch of links to different places that you can go to, that you can basically learn how to calibrate or get a calibration disc and all this other dumb nonsense. Are you kidding me? And you spent how much money for that projector? Oh man, I wish everybody around here has TVs. I wish for a fact that somebody would come up and tell me they spent $3 for a projector and they got to calibrate it. I would laugh in their face. Like, you're doing what? Are you seriously? Oh, wow, that's messed up. Yeah, it is really messed up. Nothing wrong with it. I bet you can take the same projector here and hit my screen with it and won't have a problem with it. But you got to calibrate it in order to have the colors come up. And then when people try to tell you that, they try to barrel this into your head, no, anyone who tells you that you don't have to calibrate a projector is lying to you. Well, if I'm lying to you, this is a live demonstration, and I am doing a 600 by 800 res projector, so my image looks fantastic, and I'm in a well-lit environment, much brighter than just about most people who display projection screens on YouTube right now. I'm not having a problem. At that, I'm pulling a contrast level, and I don't see that a lot. Let me get a measuring tape, because I'm curious to know exactly how far back, because I haven't pulled that projector back a little bit more. A little bit more. I had to pull it back a little bit more. Let's see. Where did Mr. Bird put the measuring tape at? Mr. Bird and his measuring tape for Yaskers. Where's the measuring tape at? I had it. I was working on something today. What's the measuring tape? I know I had it right here somewhere. Interesting. Well, I'll have to buy like 3 of these measuring tapes, because I often just measure all the time around the house. I'm curious because I want to know exactly how far back from the screen. Oh well. I got to do other demonstrations today. I'm going to be running my Sony through this because I want to do some gaming on this. I like gaming on the screen. That's why I'm doing it one upstairs. I'll do the best so I can like back the screen. Well, I was wondering where I lost this at. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's upstairs. Give me about a minute. I'll put that back to where it was. That's the fire sticks going into their timeout mode. I'm gonna let that play. I'll be back. I'm gonna find my measuring tape because I need that for work today anyway. Okay. Let me see. Where am I at? My measuring tape. Feet. That's about right. The screen is because these are elite screens. This is a borderless screen. So the borderless screens, they do give you a choice if you want to put the little border around it. I didn't want it. I want it completely borderless. So I removed them. And it gave me a couple more inches, about 2 more inches. Now I said before, this used to be the screen upstairs in my arcade room, the horizontal screen. This week I'm going to be building me an acoustic 100-inch screen to put up there because I want to put my soundbar behind the back of it. The driver's going over to Home Depot to pick me up some lumber, and I'll be building that screen on camera. That's going to be my horizontal screen set up for me to throw my speakers behind the back of it. So that's going into the gaming room. And this screen right here is going to be used for demonstrations down here. And then I'm going to coop my 135 upstairs. And if I can get the projector set right, where it actually fits the screen from the distance where it's at, I can replace it with another 800 by 600. Because I want 720p's throughout the whole house. It's nice to have because on the end of the day, I don't have to rely on expensive, overpriced projectors. And I was able to do my entire house with no problem whatsoever on the ultra short throws. I have ultra short throws literally through the whole house. $130 to $180 for a 720p ultra short throw, and I can use that in a fully lit environment in my environment. In my environment without spending an arm and a leg for a projector. Just proves the point that you don't have to spend all this money. And over here we have the measuring tape. 14 feet and some change. Right where the projector's at right here. And there I am. I'm going to walk around my environment as I should be able to do with no problem. Anywhere I said in my environment, I should be to see that screen. I tell you, some screens have narrow viewing cones. If you turn to the left or to the right, and that screen turns black on you, that's called the narrow viewing cone effect. So whether I sit here, I should be to see my screen with no problem. And like I said, it should be fully lit. If you're claiming to have ambient light projections in fully lit environments, because that's misleading. That's another thing too. If your technology is not ambient light rejection, in no way whatsoever should you ever do a demonstration or even compare yourself to anyone who has ambient light rejection technology, because it's misleading. It isn't. It should not be in any form of ambient light or ambient light controlled environment whatsoever. It should be strictly in the dark. By doing so and comparing yourself to other technology it's considered to be misleading. Because if the customer tries to do what you just did and put it in a fully lit environment and the screen fails, and they contact you and you say, well, I never said that rejection, you kind of gave the impression that it wasn't. Let's check out some, I want to see this real quick. I like this. So detail. See how the colors come up correctly? Yep. Now, I couldn't tell you much about sound because that's really not my field, to tell you the truth. But like I said, at the end of the day, if they're telling you have to buy this expensive projector in order to get the best picture quality, yeah, you really don't have to. You just got to have the right screen at the end of the day. No, I advise you don't buy the knockoff projector. Stay away from those. But at the end of the day, it comes down to your screen. As they'll tell you the picture won't be sharp enough, it won't be this, it won't be that. There's no way in the world you'll be able to see a proper image if you have a 720p projector. You won't be able to see any form of the detail in the images because your res is too low. Again, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, sure. You won't be able to see that from the beginning because your screen can't see it. That's why you won't be able to see it. The same way when I show the demonstrations where I show you different colors first, and then we go to contrast levels where the screens can't pick up color. Yeah, because technically can't see color either, or contrast. So your detail is not going to come up all too well. If you can't pick up a proper contrast level, contrast is needed to add detail and depth to an image, then that's the reason why your images are coming out kind of washed out and faded. Mr. Bird, that's not possible. Oh, it's possible. It is definitely possible. You can't see any of that. You can't see that basic hero on the cheap picture. You couldn't see it. just like to back up what I talk about. There's no point in talking if you can't back it up, right? Ooh. I never ever get used to seeing this black technology produce such a beautiful, beautiful skin tone. See what I mean by you have to have white levels here? The skin requires white levels, even the eyebrows. Look how white the eyes are. All this requires a white level to do that. Let's go with white screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Should probably go directly to white screen. That's knowing her. That is the white level on our black technology. But of course, if you have a screen that generates a higher white level, that one is going to be able to produce a higher white level because these screens are not exactly black. I love doing these. This is going to be, and like I said before in these demonstrations against these certified screens, I've mentioned this many times before, they do work. There's nothing wrong with the technology. It's just that they're not going to be able to produce a contrast level equal to a jet black screen. And since the screen produces a higher contrast, it is going to have the ability to produce better color. And this is why you have to calibrate your screen. Or sorry, your projector, you're going to have to calibrate. Because you're going to think it's your projector that's having the problem, and it's not your projector that's having the problem. It's clearly the screen that's having the problem. Same thing when I show you on the exotics. We take a screen that's brown, we take a screen that's blue. The storm, got a little bit of everybody. We have to, this is our long throw right there, surface. I don't know why they all go with that reflective surface. I would never understand why. I guess it's a trend. You know how expensive that surface is? I had a customer one time was researching that surface. He was asking me a few questions on it. I don't know much about it. I do know some things about it. I do know for a fact that it does sometimes may have narrow viewing cone issues and stuff like that, but they all like to use that reflective surface. All right, you got a dark star 9. Oops, got to put that up there a little better. That one came down all together. Nope. Put it there a little better. Back to schedule today. Usually I go through this when the rain hits. We have some rainy days. Some really good rainy days last couple days. Spin it. There we are. We're back. All right. Cinema Gray 5D right there. Should go here nice and falling off again. I'm going to have to put a little tape behind the Cinema Gray 5D because the end is up a little bit on this side. It needs to lay flat for the demonstration. That's really nice and flat. We got ourselves right there. We got enough room for 2 more screens. I All right, we'll be back. We have a DMP Supernova. It's a DMP Supernova right there. Now see, that's why I said by other screens don't do these demonstrations. They don't. They will pick out and how to get around it or try to say, well, look, we can do the same thing. What they'll do is they'll get a sample sheet close. I don't know what's going on. They're close to matching their screen. So they can say, hey, look, it's an identical match. So we're the same as a $5,000 screen. And they won't do any of the color patterns. Once you know color patterns whatsoever, they're not going to show you contrast, nothing at all. They're just going to show you any form of video demonstration that is going to blend best with their screen. Is it going to be one of those days today? I hope not. I might have to heavy tape this with some heavy Velcro stickies. I hope it's not going to be one of those days today. Come on, just stay up there. Just stay. No, I'm going to get some heavy Velcro stickies. That stuff, and they're not going anywhere with that. So anyway, and so before they're going to pick videos that are going to make their screen look good. They're going to stay away from anything where that screen may overpower the screen and make their screen look, let's say, not having that capability to keep up with that screen. So keep in mind, they're probably pre-rehearsing this. They're probably going through, they'll probably show one video and one video only, or they'll pick out videos that they've already set up ahead of time that are going to blend well with the screen. That way the other screen doesn't look too overpowering over their screen, and they have a fair advantage. They're not going to pick out any random. So one of the things they're going to stay away from is those color patterns, because those color patterns could prove deadly to the screen, and they're definitely going to stay away from contrast. If a screen's a darker screen, like a Dark Star 9, they're not going to show you any Starfield demonstrations, no form of OLED demonstrations, no contrast, because the Dark Star 9 may pull up a heavier contrast level than their screen. So they're going to pick and choose what they're going to show you. This is why we have all different shades of random screens. We don't have anything up here that matches our screen. Well, I know it's going to match it. The screen's jet black. But we do this with the gray screens anyway. I've taken sample sheets that were darker than my screen and done this demonstration. All right, and we're going to do a white screen right here. This is for those of you who have white to your life and you feel that you don't want to go with the heavy contrast levels. As I said before, we do make gray screen paints. All different forms of paints. All right, there we go. So let's see, it should play nice today, and she'll give me red or auto books. And if I got the wrong remote control. The color red.
Getting that from YouTube.
And this time she's giving me red. So there you go. I want to make sure I'm right in line with the camera, because you have to be dead on with it. Here we go. I was looking at the DMP Supernova. I was like, that's coming up a bit too dark. See right here, if you see the DMP Supernova has a reflective surface. So if I stand over here, it comes up darker. As I start to turn, it gets darker. See that? That's what you call the narrow viewing cone effect. Then when I come to the front, it gets lighter. There you go. So you have to stand directly in the front of it all because you have to make sure that you're getting the screens head on. If not, you turn to the left or right, some of them appear to be darker.
This is the all-new Nutrisystem, the personal weight loss plan that adapts to your.
This is why you're told to calibrate your projector. If these are the way your colors are coming up, now keep in mind, when they do these demonstrations, they do these demonstrations against white screens. Any one of these screens besides the white screen is going to show an improvement on a white screen. Any one of these screens. The Dark Star 9 is probably going to show the heaviest contrast because it does pull heavier contrast than the rest of these screens. That's how I feel. But they are going to show you an improvement over white screen. And with majority of the people having white screens, because like I said, you can't walk into Amazon and go pull out a Dark Star 9. It's not going to happen. Usually, if you get one of these particular high-end screens, you'll have to go to a particular dealership to get it. Or if you go on eBay, you may be to find someone who may be someone new or maybe or used. You may be get one from there. But majority, most screens you're going to run across are going to be white screens. So this is why they do demonstrations against white screens to show you the difference. But this is not a white screen, this is a black screen. Now someone may say, well, if I put this against a white screen, would I see a color advancement? Well, that's why we have the white screen there. The white screen next to our technology is not going to come up also well. I seem to get that tape to stay up there. I don't know why. It does not stick well to that surface. You're in the dark. So I'm going to turn my lights on. It's a whole nother story. Now this shows at the end of the day how our technology stacks up against a high performance screen. And look at the projector we're using in the background. We're not using a 4K or an ultra 4K or laser 4K or high-end 1080p projector. None of that. We're using a cheap projector. Projector that the Lord blessed me for this one. I paid 150 bucks for it. A projector, if my customers go out and buy the same one I bought, I got it. They'll probably pay somewhere between 250 and tops if they want it brand new. They want to get it from Amazon. Well, 250 was brand new. But say they can't anymore, say they're sold out, you can go to Amazon and still buy the projector for $300. Where if you bought one of these screens, I guarantee you they're not going to advise you to go buy the projector sitting behind me. They're going to advise you to go out and spend $2-3 grand for a projector. Because they're going to tell you you're going to have, well, it's not going to go well. It's not going to stay up there. I don't know what it is, but for some reason it's hard to stick to this formula. And it doesn't want to stick to it at all. You can see me pressing down on it. It just does not want to stay. Nope, I got to get heavy stickies for this. Yeah, it's going to be this all day. All right, let me get the heavy stickies. I'm not going to be here long for the demonstration. This is why it's not staying, because I'm not going to be here long for this. I've got other things to do. But for some reason, it does not want to stick to this screen at all. Period. I'm going to have to get me a screen. I'm going to have to design me a screen, and then basically for just doing these particular demonstrations so I can get the have it, so I just have a heavy Velcro or something that sticks across the screen. This is a pain in the neck for it to keep falling over and over and over. Or it's almost like they know and they don't want to be there. That's what it feels like. Like, nope, 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 not today. And that's why I tell you why. When you go to forum sites and they're constantly tell you that you have to calibrate your projector, you have to get, you want the colors to come in right, you got to calibrate. Yeah, and you got an expensive projector. You really should not be calibrating your projector. I got a cheap projector, and my screen's pulling up a better color, better. I am scared to know what they just pulled up. They pulled a commercial first, and nope. Starfield demonstration. Something else they're pulling up. That's not exactly what I asked for. So this projector has a 22,000 to 1 contrast. 22,000 to 1. You can't see it on the other screens. Even with the lights on, you can't see it. The Darkstar 9 pulls the best when it comes to contrast. I told you right there. But it's not going to match our black screen. So if you try to use some of these screens in a fully lit environment, the image is not going to come up. Color's not going to come up. And if you can't pull color, you can't pull contrast, you definitely can't pull color correctly. So that means you have to go in and you have to start calibrating. Or basically changing out your environment so that much light doesn't make contact to the screen, that your image is not going to fade out all that bad. At the end of the day, I told you, it comes down to the screen. So how do you have a screen that's black that's producing better color than screens that are gray and dark gray? "4K animals."
Getting that from YouTube.
So let's see if my image comes out so dark. Whew, that's going to be a problem. Trust me, it's going to start out to be a problem. Let's see if my screen colors are going to be so dark. You just got to bear with this because for some reason the tape does not want to stick to this. I don't know why, but it doesn't stick too well. We're just going to have to bear with it. That's all. Because I'm not going to go up and get sticky for that. All right, so let's see how the colors push off. White screen coming down. Like I'm going down, man. It's kind of like they know. I don't know what it is because I'm about to show a contrast part in the screen. Then the white screen goes, nope, nope, nope. We're going down for that one. This is going to be my game for today. They're not going to be up there long because I got other things to do on that screen. But I want to go back to that. It's kind of like at the moment they just know that segment's coming up and they don't want to be a part of it. Right when that one came down, the black contrast came up with the explosion in the middle of the screen. Remember I told you about the screen right here that has the reflective surface. See, you stand in front of it. All right, we got to get out of this one because this is going to be an all-day thing. It's kind of like either they don't want to be out there or they just don't want to be out there. They're even removing their tape from themselves. They don't want to be up there. They just don't. All right, I'm going to go through all this real quick. Because they're up there pretty good. It's just that. Oh my goodness. They don't want to be up. They don't want to be up there on this demonstration. Heck no. Let's bounce out here, go back in again. Sometimes that's how you can get around that nonsense. You fall off, I don't care. I'm gonna leave them off one by one. It's like they don't want to be up there. I just want to show enough of it to just show you the difference. Because that means I have to go upstairs, get the heavy Velcro, retape them all over again. I'm not going through that right now. If that screen didn't pull white level, you wouldn't be able to see anything up there whatsoever. There you go. All right, now they can be removed. Watch, and now they don't want to go. See how long it takes for them to fall off. Isn't it interesting? It's kind of like they almost had a mind of their own, like, nope, we're not staying up here. We're going to fall off one by one. Here's the deal. When he puts up what's on the screen, we're all going to fall off one by one by one. We're going to make it hard for him. Okay. All right, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 certified screens. Oh, actually, no. We had 6 because that's a white screen right there. That's a white screen right there. That's a white screen. Get over here, better over here. And when the projector is hitting the back of my phone here, it's casting a shadow onto the screen. Those of you who own white projection screens, like I said, they show a difference back and forth, you know what I mean? But those are on white screens, yeah. And then when someone has a white screen, the image is not coming up. They'll calibrate, yes they will. And then they'll go in and they'll try other products and then they'll think it's the projector and all, you know. It's your screen. It is definitely 100% your screen. The only thing you can pick up on that screen is a white level. That's it. So if I went to LG snowboarding, this is basic common sense. You're going to pick up a higher white level because you have a white screen. Just like if I pull contrast, I'm going to pick up a higher black level because my screen's black. But let's see if my image comes up so dark next to a white screen that you can't see my screen. Wouldn't that be interesting? That when I turn it on and we show the snow, that my image comes up so dark that you can't see it? All right, we definitely gotta get heavy tape for that one. I'll be back. We're getting heavy tape for that one. See, that's the reason why I do these demonstrations like this on white screens because, like I said, mind you, this isn't a this is a black screen versus a white screen right here. So if my image was so dark, you wouldn't be able to see my screen at all, period. You just see one dark image across the screen. This screen would actually be to produce a much better image, especially when we're doing a snow demonstration, much better than this. So how is it possible that the 12, and again, this is 3 shades darker than 12, the 12, when someone displayed a black kind of dirty paint, the images came up so dark you couldn't see them. I'll give you that, let you think about that for a minute. I'll be back. Get some heavy Velcro. It's just a real interesting theory when you think about it, you know? I think I had the heavy dog come downstairs. Yeah, I do. There you go. Now, I expect this is if someone goes to the shock factor by saying, "Oh, but wait a minute, the white screen is producing a higher white level." Seriously, really? You've been on the rock for how many years? That's just basic common sense. Everybody knows that one. It's like if you got a door with a handle, it's only going to open two ways. It's going to go inward or outward. It's not basically just going to flip upward like a garage door, you know what I mean? And you're inside your house and that's what you have. But it's just basic common sense. But the image is coming up so dark that you can't recognize the picture because that's what that particular individual will preach. That black screens come up so dark that you can't see the image. It's impossible to make out the image because they're so dark they can't produce white light. So keep in mind, if that particular individual is tired of me saying that, well, you're the one that said it, and we're going to use it as a campaign. That's what we're going to use it as a campaign. That black screens are supposed to be so dark that you can't see them. Images don't pop up at all. Now, like I said, of course, they're going to pick up a higher white level. That's what they're supposed to do. It's a white screen. It's going to pick a higher white level. I'm going to put that right there. We got the heavies up there. That's not going anywhere at all. Let's get a couple of sheets of white paper too while we're at it. So let me go upstairs to the office and grab some white paper. I don't usually have it down here. I got to go upstairs to get it. Let's see what we get. Got a whole bunch of white paper here. This is campaigns like this. That's what we're going to use for our campaign. Can our screens be so black that we can't pull an image? Is that possible? Ooh, that's a lot of freaking heavy stickies. Oh, here it is. Let's see about that theory today. I'm curious. I want to talk about, well, we do the projector. I do the projector show. But in my demonstrations, if anybody knows my demonstrations, we always go off topic. I like to go off topic. Now, if you're showing your light gray screen and you're showing some black mix up there and you're saying this is how this product is supposed to be reacting, how are you going to basically try to sell that one if we're here doing these demonstrations live? There we go. It's a white sheet of paper right here. We're going to stick this right here. I told you there's no difference between a white sheet of paper and a white sheet of paper and a what's the word for it? And a white screen. There's really no difference in between the two. So let's see if our image comes up so dark you can't see it. Well, remote control again. I got stuff. Remote control again. So let's remote control to my big screen. 235.1. Now remember what I tell people, that when we do stuff like this, they always follow behind challenges. which means now, I'm pretty sure you haven't done any of the challenges we gave you or anything at all, period whatsoever. I'm pretty sure you avoided all of them. You got another one now. This one, you're going to have to take black sheets of paper and stick it on your screen and show a star field demonstration or any form of contrast demonstration. Since I'm over here showing a white screen, certified screen, and 2 white sheets of paper showing a snow demonstration on a black screen. So there's your challenge for today. Let's see, I'm pretty sure he's not doing any of them. I'm pretty sure. And even though this projector has a 22,001 contrast, it doesn't mean jack in this demonstration right now because it has nothing to do with this environment. So let's see if our screen is, you can't see it because it's so dark. I told you, you made a big mistake when you went to go mess with that 12, boy. Now we got a screen that's 3 times darker than 12, and it's doing this kind of stuff. That shows the entire time when you were talking about 12, you were constantly lying and doing dirty stuff to make that product look bad. And now God blessed us with technology darker than that, and now how do you explain yourself? As I said before, whatever's in the dark comes out into the light. Let's try some 4K snow screensavers.
Getting that from YouTube.
Let's start off with the trees first. There was nothing wrong with the white levels on 12. 12s are beautiful screens. It's just people that are individuals that are jealous over the technology. That's all it comes down to. So now you got a challenge already set free today. You got multiple challenges I'm pretty sure you haven't done yet. Now, since I can come on here and show 2 whites of sheet paper, 2 whites of paper, 2 whites of paper, wow, really bird, 2 sheets of white paper, and a certified screen on our jet black screen showing off snow demonstrations. And as you can see, our screen's supposed to be super dark, but you can't see it. You can make out the individual branches. You can see the snow cascading down to the screen. You can see everything with no problem whatsoever. But as I said before, in his demonstrations, the images were supposed to be so dark you couldn't see any images at all. It's just unwatchable, completely unwatchable. So now you have to do a vice versa demonstration. Starfield demonstrations with 2 black pieces of paper up there, and let's see the difference. Let's see if your screen can show any form of contrast. And we're not talking about lights out. Don't do that. Room has to be fully lit. Let me back up so I can show you how projector is sitting from the screen and how much light we have in the environment. See how you can make out everything in the environment with no problem? We have to explain these things to that particular individual because he tries to find areas where he can cheat as fast as possible. And as I said before, I want to be to see everything in your environment crystal clear with no problem whatsoever. If I see any shadows in an environment, that's a complete fail. Let's go over and let's go change to these demonstrations real fast. Let's get the snow wolf. Interesting, we can see multiple shades of white. You can see the off-white on the wolf or fox, and then you can see the brightness whites when it comes to the snow that he's actually standing in. His tail is a bit of an off-white right there. So you're seeing multiple shades of white levels, where the white screens are just picking up one solid white. Let's go over to the other snow wolf or fox. That's a fox. It is a fox. Yet our image is supposed to be so dark, you can't see the screen. And this screen, like I said, is 3 shades darker than a 12. Let's go over to, let me see. We'll grab this one right here. Now, as I said before, and as it says in the description of the technology we sell, it says right there from the door that the white levels will be a tad low when it comes to a white screen or a gray screen, but nothing that's going to disrupt your picture quality where you can't see the screen. I couldn't imagine somebody not driving a train, not having an actual train set layout in this basement. Unless you really just don't like the job. But I mean, I could imagine that most of them probably do got nice train layouts. And from all the different layouts I've seen, I watch a lot of train layouts, and then people have these big trains that they drive around on and all kinds of cool stuff. Majority of these guys were engineers, and some of them were actually, driven trains. And that was pretty interesting. Let's go with let me see. Let's go with real quick. Let's do J and K 4K.
Getting that from YouTube.
This right here is one of the videos that was displayed that are black screen. You couldn't see the images at all. It's, the Indian. Explaining, you're going to have, at the end of the day, why we have a screen over here 3 times darker than a 12. I mean, there is nothing wrong with 12. 12 can produce white levels, but no problem. See all the work? And if you go back and look at the demonstrations where he constantly tried to slander the 12, look at all the time and work that went in to doing the fake unboxings and all the other demonstrations he was doing to try to basically tear down a product that, like I said, at the end of the day, was given to me by my Lord and Savior how to make. How did it all end for you? To take down a 12. To have a 12 staring you in the face that's 3 times darker, and that's sitting here with white paper and a certified white screen, debunking every last theory you ever did. All that wasted time. See what I mean? Sad. It's sad. It really is sad. When I first got a sample sheet of Black Diamond over here, I could have spent a good 10 years just hating on this screen. No, I took the time to be impressed by their technology and tried to advance my technology to the point where I be equal or better. That's what I did with my time. TCL 4K. That's what I want. That's what I want. I'm choosing all the demonstrations that he used in his demonstrations where he displayed that black paint or whatever that mess was supposed to be in that container. Keep in mind, these aren't gray screens. These are white screen, actually white paper and a white certified screen laying against a black screen. So see if the images come up again so dark you can't recognize anything. Let's try some beautiful animals. 4K animals. So you can bring out some 4K animals. We did the wolves. Do some birds or lions or cheetah. And as we said before, for those of you that like the higher, brighter white levels, we have gray screen paint. We make two different versions. We make an ultra light gray, we make a black silver. If you want something a little darker than that, we have the platinum eclipse, which is actually a dark gray screen. For those of you who want heavier contrast levels, this is where the black screens come in. But as you can see, the black screens, they can put, sorry, I remove my. Now, I'm going to say this. I usually don't like to keep repeating it, but sometimes I do. I'll have customers that'll go in, they will buy the black screen and then try to compare the white levels to white screen. And I explain to them, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get, you want the same white levels on the white screen, but you want the same contrast on a black screen. It doesn't work that way. You're going to have, the white levels are never going to be as high as on a black screen, never going to be as high as a white screen, never going to be as high as a gray screen, but it's going to be to produce better contrast and color. That's what they're designed for, and the white levels are going to be good. Where the images, like I said, are not going to be to the point that you can't see it. And I do run into these customers from time to time. I ask you to read the specifications that we have on the website. There's a ton of information on that website. Read through it. Just don't go in and just punch that shopping cart and be done with it. Don't do that. Read through the specifications. Those of you using knockoff and fake projectors, please read through the specifications and policies that we have on the website. There's a lot of them on there, but read through them. This is to protect you, and it protects us. So that way you don't buy some projector called the Yuko 45SS Minotaur and then find out, not to bust on you, that the screen's not going to show up. Then you call me and then I'll ask you, what projector are you using? And you mentioned something that sounds like a new Dragon Ball Z hero. And I'm like, no, that's not going to work on that screen. We have a particular list of projectors that will work on the technology. So please look under that list. If your projector's not in that list, then this is why we have these models that I show off. These are cheaper, affordable projectors that are going to look amazing on the screen, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. That's another reason why I show off these cheaper projectors. If you're not familiar with eBay, you don't know where to buy from, then I'll walk you through it. I've done this with customers all the time. I'll find a merchant I've done business with that I've given good stars with, and I'll help you get a projector with no problem whatsoever. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. But like I said, call me or contact me, email me if you need help on that. If you got projects that you're working on, because I got people that have projects they're working on, and you can't figure it out, give me a call. We'll work through it. We'll get it done, and then you'll be good to go. And in that way, I can advise you to figure out exactly what screen paint is going to fit you best. Because the first thing I'm going to ask you, are you coming off a white screen or whatever screen, or this, that, and the other? Some people come off a white screen, they want that deeper contrast level. That's what they want. Some people come off a white screen, they still want that that higher white level. So that's why we have the black silvers that produce contrast levels. They can mimic contrast levels. Ultralights can do it. And then, like I said, we have darker screens. So we make everything. Just trying to make something that we can cater to everybody. Now, I personally, people ask me, for my personal opinion, which screens do I like the most? It's always going to be a black screen. I like black screens. I like to have that jet black image and just have that image just push through. I love that. Love deep dark contrast levels. White screens, the problem you have with them, they have really poor contrast capability. Their contrast levels are horrible. And not only that, their colors don't pick up for jack. And I mean for jack. I don't care what kind of projector you got. You're never going to see it. I mean, never. If you're in the dark right now, you're watching Star Wars, you are seeing shades of gray. That's what you're seeing. For example, the projector behind me has a 22,000 to 1 contrast. So say you bought this projector behind me and you got an all white screen, and we go with outer space screensavers. You're not going to see any contrast at all. And this is 22,000 to 1. You can't even pick it up. You pick up a white level, of course you can. But you're not picking up anything else after that. Like I said, you'll pick up a higher white level. That's going to happen. But anything else? Nope. Show you, I like this one area. It just shows the levels of brightness pushing through on the black technology. See how it gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, and that screen can display that. Not even. I mean, you're not picking up anything. I've had customers contact me and they'll go, "Well, I got a white screen and the screen looks fantastic." And I'm telling you right now, I'm not trying to shoot you down anything, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. You're really not seeing what you just paid for. You paid for a projector that you are not seeing correctly. You just don't know how much you're actually missing from your projector. All the specification bells and whistles that you read about on your projector, you're seeing none of that at all. Like this projector has a 22,000 to 1 contrast level. You can't see it. And we just did certified screens. They can't see it either. Some can see better shades of contrast, but a 100% black level, you ain't seen it. It has a 12-bit color wheel. You're not seeing that. I don't care if it's 4K or 1080p, you're not going to see it. Doesn't make a difference. Let's go pop over to, let's see. Ooh. Can't pick up color. When I mean you literally can't pick up color. Oh, watch this. I don't know why he looks like. I'm sorry. I had to go back for a minute. I swear that monkey looked just like one of the members from the Three Students. I can't think of which one it is, but he does. Looks just like, who is the one with the haircut on top? And see, it's curly Mo. Oh my goodness, I can't put my finger on it, but he looks just like one of the Three Students. Oh my goodness, if I saw that, I'd have been crying laughing. If I saw it, I'd have been crying. Like, did they? You had to think, like, did they cut his hair that way? But he's out in the wild, so no. It just grows that way. He's just like a dude with a bad hair job. I got a picture at the barber. I swear. They could call him a student. It's a monkey's call. They call stooge. Students. My goodness. That's it's kind of creepy and funny at the same time. All right. I got to get past this. This is hilarious. Oh my goodness. No, Larry's the one. You got Curly. Mo. That's what he is. He looks just like Mo. Let's go through real quick. Color red.
Getting that from YouTube.
See what I mean? You can't see color. Like literally, you cannot see color at all, period. You just can't see it. Even worse with the lights out. I don't know why, but it's even worse with the lights out. You can't see color. We'll do this with the lights out. I mean, it doesn't make a difference, but you literally can't see any color at all. Or white screen. And that's why people get white screens. It's funny because when you go to Amazon or eBay and you buy a white screen from somebody who's a dealership, you see this Photoshop image over top the screen and they're showing these beautiful colors and the whole family sitting around, well-lit environment, bright images are pushing through. It's all Photoshop, you know that, right? And then when you get home, you're like, what the freak is this? Because then, you go out and buy this really high-end good projector, and in the back of your mind, before it all gets here, for you to set everything up, you're thinking, man, I got like 12-bit color wheel, and I got 4K, and I got figure like 50,000 to 1 contrast. It's going to look amazing. Then you fire up that bad boy and you go, okay. Start changing your settings, and then you start going into form sites and explaining to them like, okay, I'm not seeing this, I'm not seeing that. And then they start telling you the truth of what you really got. Like, you got a white screen, you can't pull anything up on that. You can calibrate that thing all day. I'm going to tell you, got to at least get a darker gray screen. You're going to at least need something a little darker. So you start doing your research, and you can go with some of these other screen paints out here. Like I said, I can't say speak for all of them, but I'm just saying on my end, our demonstrations are different because we do tests that other people don't do. So that's how we stand out, because we do the tests that everybody won't do. Other than that, if you go down the road of projection screens, and you're going to have to spend a little bread because you already have a white screen, so you're not going to go near that. So say if you're going in the category of elite setups, okay? So you go with the Cinema Gray, that's a $700 to $800 screen. It could be cheaper now, but I know they're about $700 to $800. So that's way more than what you just paid for your screen from an Amazon, which you probably paid, if you got 100, there's most people do 100 to 120 inch. That's like the average size screen in a home. So chances are, if you got a fixed frame, which I got a fixed frame upstairs at 120 inches, I paid about 140 for that one. So 140 is a name brand. If you're talking about Elite, on the other hand, and this is an Elite screen. This is one of their new edgeless screens, and you're talking about 280, almost $300 for a white screen. And it's going to cost a little bit more. This is the 100 inch. That's the 100 inch. I bought both of them. So that one right there cost me $3 something. I think this was around $2 something. But anyway, then you're talking about, like I said, you're not going to go near the white screen. You already did that adventure already. So you're going to go with the Cinema gray. Cinema gray is a light gray screen. It is. It's a very light gray screen. You're going to see a little bit of an indifference. You're going to see a little bit of a difference. Contrast level is going to be slightly a little better than the white screen, but you're still going to have some issues. You may have some issues where the images not be showing up the way you want them to show up too. You know what I mean? So then you may want to ask what's the next they have up there, but they have a great cinema 5D. Now you don't want from $800 to $1,300 to $1,400 for a 100-inch. We're not talking about to 120. We're talking about a 100-inch only. So if you want to do a 120-inch, imagine how much more that's going to cost you. That a screen of a 100-inch is going to cost you $1,300, $1,400. All right. Maybe that seems like a good screen for you, but maybe you want a darker screen because you're going to go back to forum sites. You're going to say, well, look, I looked at the so-and-so, but what's the next screen for a darker screen that could be better than that particular screen? And they're going to say, well, they got something called Dark Star 9. What's that run for? That's $3,000. So now you're talking $3,000 projection screen for a 100-inch. What do you think 120 inches is going to cost you? And it can be $3,000. It's going to be a lot more than that. So you didn't already went way outside your budget already right from the door. You already probably spent about $1,500 to $2,000 for your projector, and now you got to turn around. You got to cough up anywhere from $1,600, maybe to 14. Sorry, maybe from 13 to 14, to somewhere to $3,000. You done jumped way up over your budget. That's why we do the demonstrations on the certified screens to show you where our technology stacks up, because I automatically know what you're going to go through. I didn't buy one of these screens, but I went through it myself when I actually got into the field of projection screens. I went out and I bought a projector, and when I hit it on a white wall, it was disgusting. Mind you, I'm coming off two Sony 1080p monitors that were set up for my customized gaming PC. So imagine coming off that with a high-end graphic card to a white wall with a projector. So imagine that one. So for me, it was like, ugh, I'm coming off PC monitors. So yeah, so that's the price you run into. Yep, it can get expensive. It can get very, very expensive really quick. I had a friend of mine, I'm not going to mention his name. He's a good friend of mine. He's been a friend of mine for 20 years. He's actually one of my longest customers I've been friends with. And his family and friends, we're all good friends. He makes quite a bit of money. And he had the money. He was going to pull the trigger on a 120-inch black diamond. And that screen was going to cost him a great deal of money. He bumped into me by accident on YouTube. We got to talking, and I showed him some technology. And he saw one of the demonstrations before we got hit with that little order to remove certain things off our site dealing with their company. And that convinced him to buy our product. And he's had our products ever since. I'm not going to get into the discussion that he had with Screen Innovation about the screen at all. But, when he makes a YouTube channel one day and he explains a problem he had with that screen, or he didn't buy the screen yet, but the issues that could have came into play with that screen, you'll see. But other than that, I'm not saying anything on that. Because they'll be ranting about that, talking about you, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, but like I said, majority of most people, at one point I was sitting there saying, I don't know why in the world they would test against white screens, but then I had to really think about it. If you go on Amazon, that's all you're going to bump into is white screens. Unless you get elite screens do have an option there where you can upgrade your screen to the Cinema 5 or something like that. You can do that, but it's going to cost you a little bit more money if you want to go down that road. As a matter of fact, I want to go look into that real quick. Let me take this down right now. Oh, it's for fun. Take some giggles. No, this is be done. My back right now is killing me. I want to get up on my massage chair upstairs and relax. Because apparently I slept wrong last night, and I'm paying for it right now for sleeping the wrong way. Ouch. I bought myself a what did I buy myself? I bought myself a nice therapeutic cushion, like for your back and everything. And man, this thing was fantastic. It's funny. Sometimes I tell people, gotta talk to you. You gotta listen to them and everything. It don't have anything. It doesn't have to always be about paint. Everything I listened to him about. What to eat in the morning, how to do this, how to do that, everything. I listened to him about everything. And when I was shopping to get a, I was going to turn the upstairs because for the longest time I was sleeping over there. I was sleeping on my sofa. I was comfortable. The reason I was comfortable when COVID hit, um, I was spending a lot of my time on the sofa watching TV and stuff like that. So when COVID hit, just watching the news reports about this virus coming in and all the craziness and all that, that became my comfort zone. I refused to move out of that comfort zone. I stayed there. And I moved everything around me in that comfort zone. For some reason, I just felt in that comfort zone. And imagine, imagine you having respiratory issues and you hearing about a disease or virus they have out there that attacks that particular area. And it scares the daylights out of you. It does. It throws you through a whole different world tailspin. It's like, it's anxiety that you really I can't even explain to you. And I was terrified. In that one spot, everything that came to this house, I had a bucket of bleach water right there. Everything that came to this house was washed. And I still do it to this day. It's a habit now. Now it's a part of me to wash everything down with bleach, everything down with bleach, everything down with bleach. So I stayed there in that one little section. And the house remained, none of this was here at all, period. Everything remained the same. And then I realized that I wasn't going to be going anywhere. I wasn't going to be leaving anywhere. And I had to do something to occupy my time. My business went down for 1 month. And I had to decide how I got to change my company, how I do things. I can't really get out the door like I used to. I can't go from A to B like I used to. Everything had to change. And that's where God comes in. God helps you to get through that. Not only did he get me through half of the crazy anxieties that I was going through, that was driving me crazy, he allowed me to be able to figure out how to run my company from within here, how to shop and buy my food, everything I need to do from within this place. But not only that, he started giving me all these amazing ideas. Like, I want to build this today, we're going to build that today. And that's how the house ended up, with all these crazy neon lights and the ceiling turning into a galaxy and all that stuff, because I started this project where me and him every day would get up and I would turn each room into something different that would take me to another world. So upstairs is my Japanese tea room. I turned it to a little part of Japan. People ask, like, you been to Japan before? I said, nope. All this stuff was picked out through my Lord and Savior. He's the one that was giving me the ideas to put it all together. So each part of the house, I turned it into a little world that I could go into, and my system could shut down, and the anxieties and all that crazy madness would go away. So, yeah, you got to use God in everything that you do. And Mom said, you get mail that comes in, pray over it. Pray over everything. It's very important that you pray over everything. Oh, man, the stairs. These stairs used to have chasers on them. They go back and forth, but there was an incident with conflict of lights that did not go well. Ugh. So, yeah. So right now, off topic. We're off topic right now. We're off topic. That's where the gaming screen was at. That's the one downstairs. And that's going to be converted to an acoustic. I got a lot to do this week. So I got to build the acoustic screen this week and hang that up in there. And then, when that's done, I have to come in here and I have to remove the 135 off the wall, move all these wires out, take the chair, push all this up to the back because that's a pretty big screen, pull it off the wall, lay it down, and then I have to paint it to a Nova Black. Oh, man. It's been a lot of work. This is the part that bugs me the most. Let me show you something real quick. So I'm going to leave it on there because I need to get back in there because there's a few things I may want to purchase. Wait, what was I in here looking at? Lenses. Oh, yeah, because I'm buying a camera for bird watching. All right, so let me see. No, those are the Vivistorm sample sheets I bought. That's what I bought. So you're an average Joe. You're just going to go in and put in projection screens. If you're shopping on Amazon, that's what you're going to put in. And then you're going to say, okay, I just want I should have put fixed frame because most people go with fixed frame screens, projection screens, or just grab anything that'll pop up. Okay, so let's see what we got here. It came up on my monitor here. So this is what I don't like. I think when they advertise these, I think they should advertise them with no pictures on them whatsoever, because you will never ever get that picture you're looking at right now. You're not going to get that picture. So $16 for a 120-inch screen. This is a screen that's not fixed frame. Fixed frames will cost you more than that. This is a screen you take outside, you hang up. It's double-sided. So remember, if it's double-sided, which means that's rear and front at the same time. So you go click on that. That's about right. Now, see right there where the screen's washed out? That's about right. This is what you actually get from the screen. That's what it looks like. But that's an interesting when it looks like this. But in here, it looks like that. Isn't that interesting? See? Photoshop. So how is it that you have one display of it's faded out? You can't see it, but in here, you can see it crystal clear. This is what I mean by this is false advertising. I don't know why Amazon doesn't crack down on this, because if you were buying a screen for the first time and you saw the screen for $16.99, you go to buy this and you stick this in your home, you really think you're going to pull a contrast level that dark that's going to look like that? It's not going to come up that way. And what makes it even worse, when people get hit with the double whammy combo, which means they buy the fake knockoff projector with the white screen. Oh, man, that's bad. Look at this right here. This is even better. Look at this. So right here, right from the door, you really think you're going to get that image. Not even close. I got 135 inch that stretches across this screen. I tell you right from the door, you're not going to get an image that looks like that. Got the lights on, all that nonsense, yeah. And they need to stop doing this, because right there, this is showing you something that you cannot get from that screen. I bought a couple of these right here. That's an actual good inflatable screen. I bought a couple of these. $209 is not a bad, but I bought a couple of these. These are good inflatable screens. Still got to paint it, but it's a good inflatable screen. It has a sturdy back to it. I get a lot of wind in my backyard. $19. $19 right there. There's no way in the world your image is going to come up looking that colorful. And see how dark the environment is? This is an actual video footage of somebody displaying the screen. You see how dark the environment is? It doesn't look anything like the environment it was displayed in at first, does it? See? Yeah, we gotta do some half and halves. It's just to educate you on what you're getting yourself into. Now, see, I like how Silver Ticket does theirs. Silver Ticket just displays your logo. That's it. See, they don't add a lot of hoofla and nonsense into it. See how they just display the logo? That's it, Silver Ticket products. Silver ticket products, they don't put something up there that's not true, like this real colorful picture, and that's the image you're supposed to get, because that's considered to be false advertising. Look at that. Silver ticket, silver ticket, silver ticket, silver ticket. I got a silver ticket. I have one downstairs. My 235.130 inches of silver ticket screen. They don't advertise it on there as in these different colorful bright images showing that knowing you're not going to get that from the screen. Let's see if we went with a gray. This is this is a white screen right here. So white screen from them would cost you around $339, and that would be for 135 inch, which is approximately the same size screen I have over here. I didn't buy my screen from them. Actually, I got my screen from a generic company, and I paid $180 for mine. All right, so let's see if we wanted to get this in a gray. We want to get that in a gray, so your price jumps up just a little bit more on a gray. Let's see, gray. This is a gray screen, $379. You jump from there. Let's see if we want to go, if it's gray or white, woven acoustic material. Now you want acoustic. There you go. An acoustic material for $135 will cost you $529. I guarantee you that's not going to be a black acoustic. It's probably going to be a gray acoustic screen or maybe white. So let me get this straight. Let me think about this. The signature acoustic screens that we make that are black, that you can actually watch with your windows open and can take a hit from a 1,000 lumen projector with a 130 in the middle of the screen, they cost our customers $198 for a 100 inch, $248 for the for the 120 inch, and for the 135 they're going to be posted on the website around 348. And that screen we have over there in that next room is jet black, and it's already been tested against 18 certified screens from the door. Yep, and get what you pay for. I'm curious, and I gotta look this up. I wonder what color that screen is. The acoustic. Someone's got to have one on YouTube. Silver ticket. I don't know if I can get all this in woven acoustic material. Oh, we know how to see. Give me this should bring it up right here. Yeah, that should definitely bring it up right there. If I go over into here and bring this out, let me see what this screen looks like. He's got one right here. I just want to see the color of the screen. I'm curious. Yep, told you. It's white. There you go. It's a white screen. You already know, you already know what's going to happen with the white screen. You know what's going to happen. What I showed you downstairs automatically from a door, what a white screen is going to produce when it comes to color. All this right here is all washed out. Not to be rude or anything, but it is washed out. I'm sorry, but it is washed out. He's going to have to do this in the dark. That's the only way he's going to be able to get it forward. What is he pointing to here? That is so washed out. Good. How do people deal with this? I couldn't do it. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. I had to buy me a TV. I swear I would have to buy me a TV. There's no way in the world. But I guess, I couldn't do that. Oh my goodness, man. That is so washed out. That is so washed out. Nice setup. He has a beautiful setup for his home theater. It's beautiful. But that thing is so washed out. this is supposed to be gray. Gray, the gray screens in the dark. Always in the dark, always in the dark, always in the dark. You don't see much of a difference between white and gray screens. I've done them tests already before already. I just don't, I don't know about y'all, but I can't do it. This is what you're supposed to be displaying. Screens are supposed to be displayed in fully lit environments. People don't get that. You're supposed to be in fully lit environments. And they feed y'all, I hate to say it, but the industries, man, they feed y'all such mumbo jumbo, man. Are you kidding me? You see this? This is Christmas time at my old house. You see this right here when I come down them stairs? You see my screen? When you come down the stairs, this is how your screen is supposed to activate. That's my 4K projector, my PX747 4K projector. That's how your environment is supposed to react when you have a projection screen fired off. See how well lit my environment is? That's how it's supposed to look. That's how it's supposed to be. Not that freaking dark environment, can barely see where the coffee table's at. That nonsense. You spending all this money for a projector and that's what you're subjected to? That's horrible. That is freaking horrible. How much money you spent for your projector again? Oh. I already see my to see from there. Because this is just going to get me riled up. I just can't. I watch these demonstrations. I'm like, where in the world this is supposed to be ambient light projection? The acoustic screen is white out, so I can see that. Probably comes in a white or gray. That's what it probably comes into, a white or gray at the most. And like I said, beautiful. Don't even get me started on them. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setups. I tell you something, even if you have a home theater setup in a dark environment, a black screen would outperform your screen on so many levels in the dark. It's not even funny. And we displayed that. I showed demonstrations against high performance screens in a dark environment, and those screens can't pull the color level. I like this room because this room gets pitch black dark. When we get done painting 135 with the Black Nova, we're going to do a lights out demonstration, pitch black, and we're going to do it against every last certified screen I have in my kitchen drawer, including some screen paints on that screen, and we're going to do a color pattern display to see exactly what your projector is picking up in the dark. For those of you who have dedicated theater setups and you really think you're seeing color, you're not seeing color at all. And if you spent a good amount of money for your projector and you got to go calibrate it, that is not a good sign. That acoustic, his setup is nice, but that acoustic is no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at all. Look at that. See, I just got all the speakers set up behind the back of that. Real nice. I hate these commercials that come on. See, a nice setup. Beautiful setup. White screen. You got a white acoustic screen. Let me see if he's going to show any movies off of this thing. Let's get you out of the way. I like the setup, like I said, very nice, but all right. No movies, of course. Now we're going to ultra short throw living room setups. This is in your living room. Oh, that's me. I'm like, wait a minute. That house looks familiar. That's my house. Oh my goodness. Environment's still too dark. It's still too dark. It's very dark. This is what I don't like when I watch these demonstrations. Nice bunny cage. That is fantastic. Nice bunny cage right there for his bunny. But yeah, this is what I don't like. Because usually when they show up the screen, it's not the same lighting that they usually would use every day in that environment. The window is not even affecting the screen because the window is affecting the screen. All this would be well lit behind the back of the screen. So the window's not affecting. You can't show the window. See, he has a lamp there, right there in the corner. That's not on. I'm pretty sure he has an overhead light over the top. That's not on. And the window light is not affecting anything because there is nothing here. Not too much hidden there. No. That's what I don't like. I wanted one of those. I was going to get one of those, but the price jumped on them like crazy. I mean, they went from freaking 100 and then it was 100. They wanted like freaking like $1,400 for 120 inch, and they went from that to 3 grand. I was like, good gracious, what the freak just happened that fast? Like their price jumped on them like crazy. I was going to buy one, and that price jumped to 3 grand. I was like, nope, 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 not going down that road. Let me see. Why are you going through all this measurement? If you use an ultra short throw, that don't make any sense. You don't need to measure this. If you use an ultra short throw, your projector is sitting right up on top of the screen. Just set the projector up and you're done. See all this unnecessary nonsense. Condensed lighting is not even touching the screen. You know why? People are like, oh, yeah, I can see all that in videos, man. I can see all that. Number one, see where the lighting's coming at? See how it's only hitting here? Because the condensed lighting, if you ever had condensed lighting, you can shift those lights back and forth, right? So she has the light shifted where they're actually hitting the side of the wall here and here. As the condensed lighting was coming down, you would see it the way triangle effect on the screen as it's coming down. That's how you would know. There's nothing actually hitting the screen. The lights are actually hitting here, here, and here. Nothing's actually making contact with the screen whatsoever. And the black levels are too low. Now, it's not to put a bus on her video. Her video is fantastic. Don't get, no, it's about the videos. It's about the technology. I'm looking at the technology, what I'm seeing. But I can tell already from the door that if you're going to be showing off condensed lighting, that environment is supposed to be well lit. You're supposed to see the light coming down on the screen. Because if I stick it in my environment, it's not going to do well over here because I use a lot of lighting in here. Look at the blinds. Nice. Let's see how well lit we have your environment. And screen's washed out. And it's in the dark. The lights are out. Now let's see one with the lights on. And that's not considered to be a lit environment because keep in mind, as I said before, just because you have, where are your overhead lights? None of the overhead lights are on. He just has the lights on just from the window right there. You see my environment? See how well lit my environment is? This is how you're supposed to display screens. I had 3 projectors fired off, no, 4 projectors fired off in that room at the same time. You could watch me walk down my hallway. My house is nice and bright. They're worrying about one screen. I'm firing off 3 screens in that environment by itself. And I can walk in any angle direction I go, any angle, and those screens will pull up. That's me passing from one room, going downstairs. And there's my screen downstairs in the living room. Now there's all the screens fired up in the room, and I got a 130-watt lamp sitting in the middle of that screen right there, while all these screens are taking on light at the same time. There is nowhere, anywhere in that room for a screen to escape light. Nowhere in the world. This is what I mean by you got to do demonstrations on the next level. They're worried about protecting one screen. I'm here throwing 130s in front of screens and seeing exactly how they react. Did certified samples on every last screen all the way around. That's why I said at the end of the day, you know, like I said, they got to go through the expensive companies and buy their screens, which we test against every day, or they go against hobbyists who don't do their demonstrations correctly. And they're not going to do demonstrations like this. Outside with the Infinity. This is the Infinity black slate outside. That's 16 feet back, 1,000 lumens. And here they are hiding from window light inside the house. We can go outside and do 16 feet on 1,000 lumens with no problem. And I see that's why I said when I look at these screens and I go, well, you should be getting better. You're going to be spending that kind of money, you should be getting better. There's my projector right there. My portable projector right there. If you're going to be spending that kind of money for a projector or for a setup, you should be able to do that outside with no problem. It's outside. It's going to call it ambient light projection technology. That's where you should be getting. It's a challenge I gave Crow. I bet you it was never done. I guarantee it was never done. You want to show people want to show ultra short throw demonstrations? There you go. There's my ultra short throw demonstration right there on a black acoustic. Just going to have in the next room. And my windows actually sit right in front of my screen. That's me displaying my white levels on my screen. And there's my windows. A black screen producing white snow levels. That's the Japanese tea room. I love that room so much. And they're sitting there talking about, well, they got their blinds down. My windows are fully open. No blinds, nothing. No sitting to the corner of the screen, right. The screen's right in line with those windows all the time. And that's what frustrates me about when people, I have a friend of mine that was talking about ambient light rejection. People claim to be ambient light rejection technology. It just milk it. It's just done. It's not even done right anymore. It's just basically poor demonstrations of these. Come on, you got your windows are shut, and you got very little lights pushing through, and you're like, look at my environment. It's ambient light rejection. No, the heck, it's not. That's an ambient light rejection screen. That's a 126-inch screen that sits in 4 windows. It's embedded in sunlight. That's sunlight hitting my screen right now. And you're talking about your ambient light rejection. Are you kidding me? Not even close. Not even in the ballpark. That's ambient light rejection technology. That's how it's supposed to react. And what ticks me off is the fact that there are people who are doing these fake and phony ambient light rejection demonstrations. People expect for that to be that way. So if your screen washes out and you get a little image in there, it's still considered ambient light rejection because you can still see the image somewhat. No, you're supposed to see the image from corner to corner. It shouldn't fade out. It shouldn't wash out. The color should still stay intact. You shouldn't be going through any of that dumb nonsense to begin with. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life. Oh, it's ambient light rejection. That is not ambient light rejection at all. And this is what I show you. This is what you should be expecting. When you see all those test demonstrations we do, and we test it against high performance screens, we're doing the 22 feet back, all them crazy demonstrations. This is what you should be expecting when you go buy screen paint, when you go buy a projection screen. These are the tests you need to see. They can't give you these tests, they can't do these demonstrations, then there's a problem there. Just like if somebody came up to me right now, it's okay, your black screen, which is the Black Nova, the blackest screen you make. How does that compare to a white screen? I can show you because I have a demonstration I just did a few minutes ago, and this demonstration right here showing you how Black Novas perform next to white screens. You have to back up everything. And if I tell you that's one of the brightest white levels we have in a screen, the first person is going to say is, well, how does it look next to a white screen? Or somebody says about, well, the theory I have here is that maybe the black screen's white levels are so low, I might not be to see the screen. Well, we got a demonstration showing it right there. This is how your black levels are supposed to look. They're supposed to come up black, not gray, not shades of gray, none of that at all, period. Notice that's a Supreme 12. That's a 12 right there. That's why I said that, when people make accusations or false accusations out of fear that the 12 was supposed to be so dark you couldn't see it, but yet the 12 is doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 certified screens in the dark, displaying the deepest blue levels against certified screens that half of the screens out there on the market have never even done a test against because they're terrified to do that test because they're afraid that screen's going to outperform their screens. I told you how they do the test. They pick out certain videos that they know that are going to blend well with their screen and the certified screen, so there isn't much of a difference, and they can have the bragging rights of saying, oh yeah, our technology matched that screen. No, what you need to do is clear away all that freaking camouflage nonsense and start it with a color pattern so you can see which ones are giving that projector proper blues and greens and reds and yellows. This is the reason why we do these demonstrations. And we don't have screens up there that are designed to match our technology. We have everything from dark screens to light gray screens to screens that are white, the whole 9 yards. Everything's up there. That's what you're supposed to be seeing. Not these cutting corners and worrying about this. Oh, man, come on. Do the demonstration right. They don't do it at all. Boy, they wouldn't like having my dad growing up. My dad was not the kind of person that you brought nonsense to. Didn't tolerate that crap. You did it right or you got out of his face. That was the end of it. There was no such thing as doing a job half done. You couldn't do that. That job had to be done right. You get him up out of that easy chair and you bring him out in that backyard and let that job be halfway done and see what happens to you. You better do that job right. And he's going to check. You better not be leaves swept up under this and swept up under that. That yard had better be clean to his satisfaction. Don't waste his time. I'm not going to understand why he's like that, because I'm the same way like that when it comes to my screens. Either you do it right or you don't do it at all. And people understand why I get so bothered by when I see these demonstrations. Okay, it's just no. The customer's buying that. He's buying that. He's buying that, and he's thinking he's going to get this, and he's not. Where are the demonstrations? What's the difference between this screen and that screen? Show me something different. So let's take that projector, the ultra short throw projector. Let's put a crappy ultra short throw projector in there. Let's see how it reacts. Let's see if the screen is dependent on the projector, or is the projector dependent on the screen? Which one is it? So the answer here we have here is the 12 is actually showing off. It's showing off 11 certified screens and it's producing a deeper red. If the 12 was so dark, that means the other screens would produce a higher red and the 12 would be so dark you wouldn't see it, which is interesting because the 17 is 3 shades darker than the 12 and it basically produces a high enough white level, which is needed in order to produce a high enough white level, and also needs a dark enough contrast in order to be able to pull off a deeper and richer red that would outperform the other screens, which are actually much brighter than the 12. And the 17 can do that, and the 17 is 3 shades darker than 12. So that shows you were, like I said, individuals that were so jealous over technology that they had to do everything they could possibly think of to discredit a 12. The sad thing about that is, as you were trying to discredit the 12, while you were doing that, you were also discrediting my Lord and Savior at the same time, because as I said, at the end of the day, I only have this knowledge because of him. I only have the ability to design this because of him. And when you come across me, you go against me, you go against him also. Attack against him. And as I also said, as whatever's in the dark will come out in the light. As now you're seeing a screen that's 3 shades darker and it's producing better white levels than the 12. And it can also go side by side to a white screen and it's not so dark. You can't see the images at all. Which means all the hocus pocus nonsense and campaign you started way back with the 12 were nothing but lies and trickery and deception. And that's the picture you painted yourself. It's a shame this person done this stuff, because I get customers who have actually watched his videos and now they find his videos disgusting. And it's a shame. That's the picture you painted yourself. And anybody else who felt the need to try to take on a 12. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's basically comes down to jealousy. That's what it comes down to. I am done for the day, which means I got to get cracking. I got shipping information and all that stuff. Let me see. The day is what? It should be Thursday. Containers will be here today. I got to print out the labels. Friday at 12 o'clock at night, we're not taking any more orders in, because we're nearly almost completed our containers. I had to order more and we already completed our containers. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. We're going to ship tracking numbers will go out on Friday night. And then after that, Saturday, all orders will be shipped out. You'll be good to go. And then Saturday, after shipping out all your orders, I still have to build a 100-inch acoustic screen for the gaming room, so I can show you that. We're going to do that. And we have to take down this screen here, the 135, and convert this one into a Black Nova 17. I'm also going to do the wallpaper too. The only screen I'm keeping here, excuse me, man, the only screen I'm keeping here is the 12 is motorized, because we still do sell the 12. The 12 on the site is like, we still got it. The 12 has a huge fan base, but we sell only 1/4 of the 12. We have that on the website right now, but that's going to be on there for about a couple months, and then after that, everything will convert over to black. The Nova, Black Nova. All right. With that being said, I know I went way off topic today. Thank you for sticking in there. Because when I go off topic, sometimes I go way off topic. But it's just things I just have to get off my chest. That's basically about it. All right. Thank you for your time. I have to go, and God bless. McDonald's is my